Pete, when you challenged in Bermuda and won, you were on a tiny island in the middle of the Atlantic. Here, it felt this morning like 5 million people were either out on the water or here supporting you, following your progress. I mean, just give us an indication of how that felt this morning, starting your defence of this Cup.
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty incredible to see how many Kiwis are getting behind this event. You know, it means a lot for us as a team to be, you know, the home team here, you know, to be putting on this event and welcoming other teams down. And I don't know how many thousand boats were out on the water today, but you know, it was pretty incredible going out, towing past them all. And you know, it was even hard to find a good spot to, you know, get through the spectators to get onto the racecourse. So it was pretty incredible to see how many Kiwis are getting behind the event.
Obviously, we haven't seen you race for a long time, and there's been, you know, weeks and weeks of speculation about your form. Today was always going to be a day of discovery. What did you learn about your opponent and how you rate next to them?
We probably learned what we already knew. We knew we'd have a really good challenge from Rossa. We knew they'd improved a lot since the World Series, but you know, I think after today we also know that, you know, what we have to do to keep winning yacht races, and you know, it's just, you know, sailing well. You know, we definitely didn't feel like we put our best foot forward in that second yacht race, but you know, on that last lap we started to string together a few shifts and actually sail the boat a bit better, and you know, the margin came down pretty quick. So you know, we're really happy with how we're going, but you know, plenty of hard work to do over the next however many races to get the job done.
Sailing fans around the world were delighted that the boats are kind of even. What do you think it's going to take to win this Cup, and how does either team have to sail in order to walk away with that trophy?
Yeah, well, I think each team would say the same. You know, it's definitely a combination of a whole heap of different things will end up meaning one team gets ahead at the end of the day. You know, we felt like we sailed a reasonable race in that first race, but still had a lot of things to improve on. And you know, in the second race, obviously, we gave them a bit of head start off the line and couldn't quite get back through. So now we've got a lot to go back and learn. You know, it's obviously been the first time we've raced for 3 months, so we're definitely chipping off a little bit of rust, but you know, really happy with how we checked in.
Just lastly, I mean, as you said, it's the first time you've raced an actual AC75 for a long time. I know you've been racing the chase boat a lot, but it does seem like the pre-starts are becoming absolutely crucial. The level of execution required in that 2-minute window is extraordinary. You know, how much pressure does that put on, I guess, you know, you and your team to get it absolutely spot on?
Yeah, well, I think, yeah, you just have to look at the level that both teams are getting to. Yeah, any mistake and you're not going to win the yacht race. So, you know, it's really just trying to make sure you put your best foot forward, you do all the little things well, and you know, we're really happy with the boat we've got in the shed there, and we know it can do what we need it to do.
Thank you. Francesco, so much has been made. There's been so much speculation about how strong your opponent was. How much of a discovery was today, and you know, where do you think you rank with the defender?
Well, we knew that when we heard rumors about Team New Zealand being 10 knots faster was a clear mistake. And we knew that Luna Rossa had improved since last time we met Team New Zealand. We were not sure if there was a small gap, any gap, or yeah. So today I think was a very positive day, because in conditions when Team New Zealand should have destroyed us, they didn't. The boat, Luna Rossa, was going very well today. We did a few mistakes like Team New Zealand did, and we just have to analyze and get better for the next sailing day.
You have a nation at home watching the broadcast. I mean, the viewing figures are extraordinary, you know, in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Do you feel that? I mean, how important is it to have that support from your nation? It's
very important. It's actually fundamental, because we can really feel the crowd behind us. We can really feel the passion of the Italians pushing the boat forward.
You said in the press conference that you're approaching this without emotion. Perhaps just explain the culture and the philosophy in the team. Now we're at the real sharp end of the America's Cup.
Well, I think that we are not living it without emotions. I think we try to really focus on our job. That's a different story. And Jimmy is a great example of that. He can really focus on the goal and not get distracted. And I think that's very important, and we all have to learn from him.
Just lastly, the first race this morning, some errors early on in the start and perhaps just after. A little bit of nerves, or just talk us through that.
It's sometimes it's split seconds decisions, and especially off the starting line, half second in, half second out. We are talking about meters. And we clearly didn't have a great start on the race one, but the important thing is that we fight back and we recover, and I think that's the most important thing.
All right, Jimmy, let's just kick off with that first race. I mean, not the best start. Jimmy, not the best start in that first race, and then a really aggressive move, proving, really trying to get the penalty in that infringement. What was all that about? I mean, in hindsight, was there a little bit of nerves or frustration there?
No, I think the first one we really saw an opportunity. We thought we could have got a penalty on Team New Zealand. We went for it and it didn't come off. I actually haven't had a chance to even look at it to see how close it was. So, yeah, we have to go back and look at the drawing board. But the important thing about that was the ability to bounce back, because that's a very tough situation for a team to be in straight off the bat to lose the first one. Something we've worked pretty hard at Rossa about is the composure. The ability for the team to purely focus on the next race was, I think, a huge step forward for us and very satisfying.
I know Philip Presti, your coach, said this morning in the team meeting that today was all about assessment. What is the assessment after two races?
Well, I think the assessment is you've got to look at the scoreline, and the scoreline suggests both teams can win races. That's a great thing. That's confidence for our guys. I think we've taken a good step since the Christmas period when we last raced the Kiwis. But we need more. You got to constantly develop in the America's Cup. It doesn't just stop now. And the way we spend tomorrow will be fundamental for the rest of the series, because unless we get a weather delay, it's the only day where we really get our hands on the boat.
How will you spend tomorrow if it's so critical?
Well, we're definitely doing a couple of things to the boat. I mean, the guys are into that now. For the sailing team, we'll be very, very critical, very candid on our own performances, our decisions, what we did well, what we could have done better, with the whole goal of just trying to grow stronger as a unit. And there's definitely a lot of things we want to look at. So, yeah, we'll debrief that and wrap it pretty hard tomorrow.
We've seen both teams now in earnest. What do you think it's going to take? What kind of performance will it take to walk away with this trophy?
Well, I believe the fastest boat will win the America's Cup. So it's up to both teams. They're obviously still in the search for boat speed, trying to get faster and get one up. Conditions, we've only really seen one set of conditions today. Maybe a little bit more wind in the second race than the first race, but we haven't seen the other ends of the spectrum yet. We haven't seen the super light air. We haven't seen the really windy stuff we saw, let's say, in the semi-finals. So, yeah, it's fascinating. We're all fascinating to see how the boats go in a different set of conditions now.
Just lastly, Jimmy, a question about you. Your fourth America's Cup final. I can't even begin to imagine quite how that feels. Just describe for us, how special the moment still is.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you wake up morning of going into your first America's Cup race, it's just such a privilege, and it really is all that hard work and time you put in with the team. It's just, man, you realise how fortunate you are and just how important it is. It's fantastic to see all the families and the spectators and all the supporters down, all your teammates, and yeah, it's a great day.